Do you have anything to say about milk?
No. Oh man.
This man hates milk.
Oh no.
Tonight, Kyle
Okay,
left
yeah,
a
yeah.
room of 12 people.
Okay.
Later today, yeah.
After
It was
receiving
supposed to
the
be like fun little go time. Our boss gets all of us food. We're all getting Mac Shack. Great. And then as a light
like lighthearted.
you know,
like,
yeah, I was like,
fun fact.
man, I don't really do a lot of dairy. This is gonna be hard for me to eat. Somehow, why don't you eat dairy? Well, don't you drink milk? I'm like, well, no, I don't really drink milk. And then a guy across from me, of the 12 people that are with us, is like, I drink a gallon a day. Like, I drink tons of milk. How many?
There's a gallon a week.
A gallon a week. I drink That's still.
It's still.
much.
Can
That's
we
so
get a
much.
fact check on that?
It's a good amount of milk.
Week is very different.
It is. It is.
I was like,
It's
who
a
is this
gallon.
man?
Financially
Yeah.
different story.
It's a gallon a week. But yeah, he goes, yeah, I drink a gallon a week. Like, I drink this shit all the time. And I was like, I just dove in. I was like, you know, you're gonna die from that, man. he's like,
can't just start with that. All right, let's do it. My name's Will. I know Julian and Kyle because we all work together.
damn right.
We're very close to each other, too close to each other.
Too close.
Feels like at times
But
we're all roommates.
Convenience.
Convenience. is
Convenience,
key.
it's very key.
efficient,
It's efficient,
Convenient.
con-
Fun. Flirty.
Yeah.
flirty, if I may, if I dare.
If I dare. Flirty. Should I go?
Yeah,
I'm
Julian.
Yeah,
Julian,
go ahead,
and I know
Julian.
Will and Kyle. I'm Julian, and I'm friends with Will and Kyle because we live together basically and are very, very close.
Yeah.
Too close.
Yep.
One might say.
Yeah, I'm Kyle. We yes, we live near each other. But I'm quirky, I'm fun, and I'm ready.
It's an icebreaker
Bachelorette
to Kyle.
I'm excited.
What's up, Kyle?
I love
Yeah.
dolphins.
Yeah, I love what?
Dolphins. That was you sounded like
Oh.
one of the Bachelorette interviews.
I'm
Oh.
a Pisces.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's introduce our guests. I've known Matt for about 3 years now. Yeah, we met freshman year of college,
Classic.
and through knowing Matt over the years, I've slowly been introduced to Andrew.
The reason that we have our two great guests here is because very, very different relationship statuses, very different relationship experiences, which is our subtopic.
That's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into
That's-
that. I
that's
think it's
very
fun.
true.
It's a
Woo!
fun,
Alright.
We
fun
thought
little topic.
a fun little topic would be just college relationships
Yeah,
specifically,
yeah.
because I feel like there's a lot of like leeway and like wiggle room when it comes to it, and
Yeah.
people define it at different times. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially in today's age,
Yeah.
people
Dude,
define
it's a
it
really
as
weird
different little
time.
categories.
Takes
You're
a
like-
lot of different paths.
and it gets very
You're
complicated.
lot
first
of
like you're
different
first an adult and you're like, oh no, I make all of my decisions myself. And you start dating some wacky people.
I just feel like there's a lot of different realities, expectations, and outcomes.
Well, yeah.
when
Then
it
you
comes
gotta
to
think
dating at
about
this
the
age.
whole like the hookup culture that's going on as well too
Yeah.
in college as far as
Yeah,
relationships.
Which
go.
totally affects it.
That's a widely different culture.
Yeah. When you're 60 years old, thinking about divorcing your wife, you're not like, oh
Yeah.
damn. There's so many hot women
So
around.
many
me.
locals in my
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, they're
So
all.
many locals in my ears want to fuck
Yeah.
me. That's what the ads
Yeah.
keep telling me.
College, you just go to Woody's and see what happens.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
You right.
It's crazy, but
And we realized we all have like a very broad range, like between the how many are there? 5 of us of like relationship experiences and whatnot. So we figured this would be a really good group
Some
to
had like
talk
more
with
serious
us about.
relationships, more long term, and others have had like the fun,
summer
flirty
fling.
part. Yeah, like summer love and had me a blast kind of thing.
no.
So I think this is a very pretty diverse group when it comes to those kind
Yeah.
of.
So should we
backstories.
hop right in?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the most annoying part of having a girlfriend/boyfriend in college?
I think it's a trying time. Everyone's trying to develop themselves. Everyone's trying to learn who the fuck they are. And they're, oh wait, I know who I am enough to date you and throw myself completely at you. They don't even people don't even know who they are.
And you're constantly changing too.
Yeah, especially now.
That's the hardest part too.
Yeah.
Like you meet someone at one time and then another time later you're like different person.
That's why I like high school to college
An
relationships
onion.
always freak me out because
Ooh.
I feel like if you were with somebody in high school, you're such a different. Like I'm a very different person than I was in high school, and like
Yeah.
watching like couples from my high school go from being like a couple in junior year and now to being like off like 10 years later. Like that freaks me out.
What do you guys think about bringing someone from like a high school relationship while you're going to college?
I think that's so
That's
weird.
that's
I
a
think
bad
that's
choice.
really. I don't
You're
think
in that
it
high
ever
school
works
mindset.
out.
I think
so
that's
it
really like
never does.
nearsighted.
Never.
Like
No.
I think you have to give your chance, like give yourself a chance, like new place, it's a new environment, and I feel like college is it's I think one of the most important things about college isn't even so much like the education, it's like the fact that it gives someone just like the chance to be someone,
Gives them
like
perspective.
figure
yeah.
out who they are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without that, because I feel like that's so vital for that.
Because what you, I mean, like think about coming from high school. It is kind of like a time where it's like you were somebody and now you're growing to be somebody,
Yeah.
and then you're
Very good
holding
point.
on to someone from the past. You might not be the same person, you know, a year from now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both are huge developmental times, but like in such different ways. Like
Mhm.
high school, you're learning how to like drive a car, and then college, you're like trying to figure out like where you're gonna live permanently for.
Okay.
Like it's just
Yeah.
like big decisions.
So like bringing this back into like the college then, what would be like some of the bad parts of dating while in school? Some of the most annoying parts.
I definitely think like as far as that goes, it's just like you are constantly changing, so it is a time for you to grow and develop as a person. And like if you aren't with somebody who's trying to do the same, it's gonna be definitely a little bit not necessarily negative on the relationship, but it's definitely gonna be a little bit different dynamic than what you initially started.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I actually think it's sort of like limits your time. I think it also limits like what you're able to do.
Yeah,
You know?
for sure.
So it's like if you're in a like relationship, I think it's not like you can't just be like as spontaneous as you want to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, you can't just be like, you know, I'm gonna do like a study abroad and just like leave. Like you can't go on an impulse. You
Right.
know what I mean, or something like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like you sort of have like that time commitment with that person
Mhm.
that you're gonna like be there to spend time with them.
That's what I was gonna say is the time commitment, because you have so much going on already in
Right.
college, and then it's like you know like allotted time for a relationship, and that's like not a functional method of going about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, time is wild.
I feel like best case scenario when it comes to dating college, I would steer away from dating first year, second year, and then maybe later on.
I was gonna
Mhm.
say like
As you
initially into
kinda, like,
college
grow out of
versus
the whole
like
college
coming out of
lifestyle.
college
Yeah.
are two maybe
Yeah,
different
yeah.
stories.
Mm-hmm. I was told when I first went off to college by all my friends who were years older than me, they were like, "Dude, you gotta stay single all freshman year. Please do that. You do not want to get wrapped up in a relationship early on." And
Yeah, that's
I
That's
think
good
it showed because I
advice.
had buddies that did that, or even worse, kept the relationship from high school into college, and it blew up in their face. So looking at the brighter side, with the better parts, if there are any.
Cup half full.
Okay, I'll start. Yeah, I got
He
this.
just
I got
looks at
this. I'll
Kyle.
carry this.
Just
I
looks
I
at
would say
Kyle.
one of the most, like the most beneficial or the best parts of that were college is also, you're figuring out who you are, but it's also a very stressful time, and having that kind of emotional support outside of just friendships and stuff. And you have no family really for the most part if you go out to school. So having that kind of emotional relationship is helpful at times. But that's
Yeah, I think you also just you get a veto. You know, you get a pass on all the bullshit that you don't want to deal with. Like, I mean, no, the one thing that I'm really happy that I missed throughout college is, you know, I didn't go out a lot because I was in a relationship, but also meant I didn't have to deal with trying to have a fake. I never tried to sneak into bars. I hate doing shit like that. I hate doing stuff I know I shouldn't be doing. I feel so bad about it. It's just uncomfortable for me. So I'm super happy that I got to actually start experiencing beers and going out, getting drunk, hanging out with some friends in a public place when I was allowed to do it.
My first beer that I like bought after I turned 21, not like in a bar, but just like the
Yeah.
casual like walking to the gas station, and it was just like, oh damn, I guess this is
this is my
There's
life now.
no
right. Exactly. I was like, like I was literally just like in an Applebee's, and I was like, oh, now I'm a guy in an Applebee's
Bro,
drinking
at
a
the
beer.
bar at Applebee's, you went
You're
from
not drinking a
18
beer.
to like 50. That kind of
I
mindset.
became a grown man. Like, no, I was at dinner, and I was like, oh, I can buy it now.
All right.
I'm just
What other
looking. I
questions do
think
we have? Let's
one of
go
the
through
one of the funnest things to ask on this one as an intro.
Okay.
What's the worst date you've ever been on in college?
Ooh.
In college?
Yeah. Julian, why don't you start? You have one in mind?
You
Yeah, yeah.
definitely have some bad dates.
I have two
Yeah, your
really.
bad dates.
I want to hear these stories.
One is like a two-parter. and then one is just like a really quick one. The two-parter is this guy that I dated freshman year. The very first thing we did was go to Bellevue and do the lookout thing, but I didn't know we were going there, and it was like my second week in like Ohio. And he like tried to like get me to close my eyes and lead me up the mountain, but I was like really, really freaked out, and I thought he was gonna like push me off or something because he was
I'd
like,
be terrified.
I don't know why I don't know why I went through with it, but I was like, yeah, this seems safe. And then the whole
You
time I was
met
like,
up with
I'm
the
getting
dude.
killed. Like
You met up with the dude, and he had you close your eyes as he
Yeah.
led you through a
And
forest.
so I was like, what? We were in a class together, and we had never really talked.
oh my
Yeah,
god!
it was.
How
It
are you
was.
still
it
how are you
was-
sitting here?
It was.
Jesus.
It was
Christ.
actually like
What are his
traumatizing. But then the like the second part of that is that we went to Bellevue, which is like kind of a like romantic like lookout thing, and it was the first time we met. And he was like, "Open your eyes," and I was like, "It's really
What the
nice.
fuck,
We're like,
dude?
why are we here?"
Wait, I have like a really like thing is like I'm very clear about my intentions. Like if something's going to happen,
Yeah.
Hey, we like this.
What?
I
Where are the intentions, on like, hey, let's go
okay.
into a.
I'll be honest with you, Chief.
Tell
My
me.
good friend Kyle is the one who really enlightened me in terms of like laying out your intentions first. So this was freshman year when I didn't know my very good friend Kyle.
Yeah.
So intentions had not yet been cleared.
Horrible time.
No one set that foundation.
So that's that one. So that was kind of weird. And then the second one just involved, and I'm just gonna like keep it at keywords, but it involved like intercourse and scat, as in like jazz.
Here we go.
So there's that.
Those should not mix.
No,
And
exactly.
we're not.
exactly.
Whoa. Let's clarify. Can we clarify, please?
Okay.
It wasn't coming from like a Bluetooth. No, like.
no. It
actual
was coming
recorded-
from the human voice.
It was coming. Yes, from his
his
mouth.
instrument.
Yep.
I think it's time. I think it's time for a little ASMR.
ASMR break.
Welcome to ASMR. Jazz freestyle intercourse. All right. Yeah, that's it. I'm
All
gonna
right,
try.
that's been
Thank you.
ASMR corner with Will.
Alright.
Expect 3
But
more.
so that happened, and that's just honestly like threw me for the biggest loop of my life. So that was it's not even bad. He's a great guy. Like nothing against
Seems
him.
like
we,
a
we
nice-
still hang out. He's still cool. Like
I
we're
bet he's a
good.
nice guy.
He's-
He probably just couldn't help
It
it.
only happened the first time too.
Oh,
Like since
jeez.
then, I was like, if it happens the second time, like I'm out. I
But
can't
no,
do
we
it.
told you. We told
What?
you. Like, you confront this man.
Yeah,
Tell
and
him
but it
from-
didn't happen
No,
again.
no.
I think it was
Tell him
nerves.
no more force.
Oh my
It's
god.
I think
you
it was nerves
nervous
because I called him out on
Yeah.
it.
Right.
I called him out on it. I was like, "Did you
Sorry.
like? Are you scatting?"
That
And he
usually
was-
doesn't happen.
You know that I was like, "Are you scatting?" And he was like, "Oh, sorry." And I was like,
It
I
usually
was like,
doesn't
was
happen.
that,
I swear.
Was it, like involuntary? Like you didn't even know that was gonna come out? Like and it
This,
did?
this hasn't. This has never happened
This is-
before.
I
I don't
swear to
know
God,
what.
this has
I don't
never
know what's
happened
going
It's the
on.
first time.
I have a theory.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. I want to hear the
What's your
theory. I
theory?
want to hear the theory.
I have a theory that you said this was this the first time you guys was that the first
Yeah.
Yeah, he forgot your name. He forgot your
And it was a
name.
stutter.
And he
And it
tried
was a
to-
stutter.
And he tried to save it.
He tried to say
He
it
was
like,
he was
like
he
Chris
was like,
Brown.
hey, Mattis, and was like, sorry, sometimes I do that.
That's the best thing I've ever.
Is that better? I think that's better than scatting.
You
That's
have a.
that's far better
Yeah,
than
that's
scat.
bad. Yeah, I'll
But
take
also-
it.
He's just thinking quick.
That, okay, honestly, all respect, because that would be like quick on his toes. Like that would be like next.
That was
level
actually a
thinking.
save, if anything.
Honestly, though, yeah.
And then he
honestly,
tries to brush it off with,
that's
oh,
more
sorry,
of a-
sometimes
sorry,
I
Maybe
sometimes
you
it's
scat.
detected
scat.
it initially.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was yeah.
This guy's
Wow,
legendary.
this guy's smart.
So he's pretty smart. So I guess that's the best date I've ever had.
Oh, wait, what was the question? Sorry, I get caught up in that one.
Not what we were thinking.
But that's me. Somebody else go.
Yeah. You guys think of one yet? Well, also, let's think like I have this theory that there's, all this vernacular that we use, all these words that we use to describe dating in college, but really there's some poignant differences. There's some very important differences. There's like dating, seeing someone in a relationship, and then there's this whole other concept where you have to talk about what is the exclusivity of the relationship. How like.
Isn't that when you define when you are dating though?
No,
Like,
no,
when,
no,
like
I
you
don't
are
mean-
talking about exclusivity is like, hey, I actually would hate if you saw other people, and you probably hate if I saw other people.
I think
so
it's a lot of things.
we
I don't
are
think it's
dating
just that. I don't think it's just that. I just
Yeah.
I always try and point out that when you're talking about, are you talking to someone, or you're just texting, you have mutual conversations, and then are you actually dating someone? Is it just you and her? Is there intention there? Is is it shown to be intimate?
It's like that's like the gray area, like hooking up. And when you say, "Oh yeah, I just hooked up with a girl," there's like gray area, and that's
Yeah.
I feel like that's like the same.
I
thing.
literally heard. Okay, so I heard this like, it was a couple weeks ago. I couldn't even fathom what like it was just crazy to me. So, it was someone like it was these two guys, and one of them was like looking at the phone, and he was like, "Oh, like, are you with that girl?" He's like, "No, I just have her on Snapchat." Like that was a level.
what does that just mean?
I mean,
Yeah,
you know
what
how it's
does
like
that
we're
mean?
dating.
Just have
It's like
her
yeah,
on
I
Snapchat.
don't know, but it was
Yeah,
like
that's
What do you mean?
interesting.
dating and then like seeing each other hooking up, and then it was just like so low.
I slowly just Snapchat.
He was
this
like,
girl.
I don't know, yeah.
But I
there's
don't
some
actively,
stuff
I actually
where,
I
like,
have people like that.
I don't
Like,
actively
she's on-
Snapchat though, so I wouldn't know what that would mean.
I get in spurts.
Is Snapchatting a level now?
it's
Snapchatting
and
is
it's
a very
Is that
low
before
level.
talking
Low.
or after
It's very
talking,
That's
low.
or is
way
it
before.
during
Oh,
talking?
dude, no.
That's-
So let's go to acknowledgement.
Yeah, so
That's
you
what Tinder
acknowledge
is.
it. I acknowledge that you
Yeah.
exist in this world.
Yeah, that's what the swipe right is.
That's what the swipe right
Oh,
is.
Jesus.
Acknowledgement, and then you have Snapchat,
Okay.
just meant for you and them.
Snapchat's like the next step because it's not like giving them your number yet.
It's not giving you a
Yeah.
number. You're
not.
saying short little quips.
Yeah, way before
Twist.
talking.
So has there been put in this cushion layer between texting and actually intimately talking where it is Snapchat
Yes.
now?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wait, I put Snapchat below texting.
Yeah.
We're talking about obviously
Somebody-
in college people use Tinder, but what I
What?
think is interesting.
No.
I know, just dropped a bomb right now.
Ah.
But what I
I
think
have
is
Tinder.
interesting is when people get out of relationships. What's that time gap where they go on Tinder?
All right, so I have definitely used Tinder twice, and that's for
just
some
two
reason.
swipes only.
Very selective. He thought he
But
was
no,
going.
2 swipes only
He
left.
thought he was going straight to that
No.
60-year-old phase.
And I have actually never met up with anybody from it, nothing like that. It was only when I've been in Florida, because you know what? We'll fly down with my family, and I'm
That's
like,
different.
you know
If
what?
you're going on a
Like,
trip,
Vacay,
if you
Summer
spring
11?
break,
Going to
you can be
Florida.
a fucking hoe. If
no,
you're
no, no.
out of like the state you're
Oh yeah, yeah.
currently
yeah,
residing.
I was trying. I was like, you know what? Like, even if I don't meet someone, like it's, because hooking up isn't necessarily my thing. I'm more of like sex inside of a relationship. So as far as like that goes, when I was like, oh, you know what? If I meet somebody, like we can hang out, we can have common interests, whatever. Like try it. Yeah, Tinder's not for that.
Yeah. Will, you've used Tinder.
Yeah.
And Julian, you've used
Oh,
Tinder.
yeah.
Wait,
Tinder.
wait, Will, are you heavy light user?
I'm a sporadic user, I'd say.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Do
Not
you?
I would
Okay.
say
Not
heavy.
heavy.
Follow up question.
Heavy user?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've become heavy.
Follow up
Really?
question for both of you.
Yeah,
then.
what's up?
Wait.
Do you use it more when you're inebriated, or not?
Oh, I think everyone does.
That's the purpose of Tinder. It's
Yeah.
like fast,
Okay.
quick.
I don't use Tinder. I don't know these things.
But I'm saying that I think that's like the whole purpose is like people that are drunk that just want to like
It's
yes
not-
or no,
yeah.
make a decision.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
they cut the shit. I feel like no one wants more of a physical relationship than a drunk college student. You know?
Yeah,
Oh no, yeah.
that's a good point.
Okay, then I definitely don't understand Tinder as much.
I think
No one
Kyle.
does Tinder for relationships.
I've
You knew
always
that,
told
right?
Kyle he would do well on Tinder.
No, no,
He
no.
would.
So,
He actually
so
would.
I
there
think he
is
would.
a
Very
big
small talk.
exception, Will, though. There's a big exception. I even met a couple that they met on Tinder, got married,
Ooh.
happy
I'm
relationship.
sure. I'm sure it does happen.
I'm sure it has
but
created love in
majority-
this
Yeah,
world.
the majority.
Majority
just
in
touch each other.
college,
rubbing up,
purely physical relationship
getting
for
weird, getting
a
nasty.
limited amount of time, correct?
Oh,
Yeah.
very 2 minutes.
Okay. Oh, I would say
okay.
I would say a
All right,
wait,
a
Will.
night.
I would say a solid minute with like another solid minute of like crying, and then like you can just
Well, yeah, obviously there's crying. Yeah, there's crying.
There's crying.
I can love the crying.
Just start scatting. Just start scatting.
I
Whenever
actually
you're
have-
in doubt,
If
just start
every-
like
Oh my
crying and
God.
scat.
Yeah, just
Just you gotta scat
Works
through
like
it.
a
Scat
charm.
through the tears.
Scooty boo.
That's what I always say.
self-deprecating humor.
Wait, so Andrew, you've never used Tinder?
Yeah, why not?
Oh yeah. I have a girlfriend and I don't have a Facebook either, so I can't.
ooh, that's a
Oh, no
that-
Facebook
that's
boy.
a limiter.
I haven't had social media in like a year and a half.
Wow.
You don't have
super.
you don't have an Instagram?
No, I don't have Facebook. I don't have what is it? A Kick? I don't have Kick.
I don't think the
Nobody
teens
uses
I don't have
have
the
kicks.
LinkedIn.
The
For some
tweens
reason,
might,
I
I don't know.
followed you.
Okay, but the cool
We're
tweens.
not
they
talking about-
probably-
Right.
Not talking about tweens.
I thought I followed you like yesterday.
Ooh.
That's weird.
You
You have a little
got the
fan
wrong
account?
Andrew.
Yeah.
But someone just got to follow out there.
Yeah. Oh.
Well, let me
Yo,
know how that Andrew's
I have a
doing
really
then.
big question. Do you guys actually think like, social media plays like a huge role in relationships?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think because it kind of gives a chance for people to be like vulnerable. Because they can be really vulnerable, like on the internet, social media, you know, like all this stuff. But they don't actually have to like deal with, like, see the other people on the other end, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like maybe like they themselves can't, so like they just have to do it when it's not like face to face.
yeah, which makes
vulnerable.
sense. To me, it's ass backwards, but that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know.
I've only been like super, super intimate, super close with people that I can physically see.
Mm-hmm.
Any Bumble people out here? Bumble?
Almost. No.
Shout out Bumble.
I don't like Bumble.
No.
Is that a sponsor shout?
mean-
Bumble, please.
yeah, just
Where
the
are you
opposite. I
on
hate
I'm
Bumble?
Bumble.
an exclusive
yeah,
member of
actually-
Bumble. So.
Oh wait, are you
yeah.
on Bumble?
I do a little Bumble.
Have
but-
you have you matched with anybody?
Yeah.
And what does that work out like compared to Tinder? If
Well,
anybody
the
doesn't
thing-
know,
the
Bumble
whole-
is
the
where
whole
the
twist on Bumble is it's basically Tinder, but the girl has to message the guy first,
oh.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yeah, that's basically it.
How,
it
how,
different
how
than
does,
Tinder?
does
That's
it work
the only
The
different?
surf it like the
No, but like for you
you swipe the
personally, has
same?
it like do people like go for it and message?
I've personally have only met people from Tinder. I've never
Mhm.
met someone from Bumble. I barely use Bumble,
Yeah.
but I've met. a
I don't
couple
like
from Tinder.
Bumble's interface.
So how does the Tinder, when you meet somebody from Tinder, how does initial contact go?
I think for the ones like I've
You
met
more
up with
into
like
that, I'm not sure.
I would say like 3 people, and like the first one
All at
we
once?
Just, like, what?
What?
What did you say? Don't make fun of me.
Said all at once.
Oh, that would be so much fun. That would be like that would be a good idea.
that'd be
No,
fun
imagine my 2 truths
Slow
and
it
a
back.
lie. Like, yeah, I met up with 3 men.
Three
from
guys at
Bumble.
once
Yeah,
that I met off
bitches.
Tinder
Well,
exclusively.
bachelorette.
It's all about the 2 truths and a lie.
No, I'm curious though. You say so you have met up with
Yeah.
three
So like,
Tinder.
I think like literally all 3 times it hasn't been like expected, but it's been like it was like a thing that like you think about before and you're like, yeah, it's probably gonna happen because we met on Tinder. But I don't think what.
The conversation's different too, leading up to it.
Oh yeah,
So it's
yeah,
you have different expectations. You know what's going on.
for sure.
Should we dive into the deep stuff?
I was just about to say that. You
Can
kinda
I
cut me
do
off.
Matt's first question?
Yeah, it's light. It's personal, but it's light.
It's personal, but it's light.
Okay,
It's not
so
too
we're gonna dive a little bit deeper into these personal.
Yeah.
Is this one
questions.
specifically for me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you think on your toes, man?
If I put both of them on the ground.
you
There we go. There we go.
He only
So-
has 2 toes.
From what I understand about Matt, heard this through sources and whatnot. You dated someone fairly recently,
Yeah.
and they were a twin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Very
You know a
interesting.
little bit.
And like, how identical?
Oh, very identical.
I
Very
could not
identical.
tell them apart.
This
Both
is-
their names started with A's too.
This is definitely a question that I wanted to ask.
I see where this is going.
Oh, dear.
So,
Julian,
of
can you like
curiosity.
step in really quick?
of curiosity,
Like 5 minutes.
from dating identical twins that both started with the same letter with their first name,
There it is.
was there ever like a mess up, or was there ever like an awkward moment, or like, because I mean you're playing with weird odds there, man.
Playing with fire, buddy.
You're with fire, and you are not a fireman.
So
Wait, real
No.
quick. That has to be so difficult because I literally called my girlfriend of 5 years the wrong name yesterday.
Oh, whoa. we will get any.
not a
Look
question
at
for
that, look
me,
at that
guys. I don't
question.
know.
Okay, well, wait.
Explain.
Let me clarify that for a second. We're gonna go back. That sounded way worse than it actually was. Let me
I
set the
hope.
scene. Yeah, let me set the scene.
Set
It was
that
her
scene.
and her roommate, and I've known her roommate for like 2 years.
Okay.
So I was just like trying to have someone give me my phone,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Hey, Maddie, can you give me my phone?" And then I was like, Emma.
Okay.
It wasn't. I was
thought
like,
you meant like deep in the like
right, yeah.
midst of romance.
Yeah.
That
No,
would
it
be
was
a
like
little bit
the
of a
other
different
person that
story.
was in the room.
Okay.
But that just sounded really bad. But I'm saying I slip up like, well, no. Go ahead, Matt. I'm just gonna stop
I
digging
need to know the
myself
answer.
into a hole. So
No. I don't. I actually I knew that she was a twin too when we met. So
Well, she's just asking for it.
no, I was extremely adamant on like I will not mix these two up. Like I was so like this is not gonna happen. I will know the difference between them both. And they actually tried to.
What?
It was literally.
Like
it was the
Parent
second
Trap
time.
style?
What? Sorry.
Like Parent Trap? Did they like try to switcheroo?
Oh,
What?
she tried to pull a switcheroo. Let me set
No
like the yes.
way.
It was not no. Not like
This
you're
is like a
thinking.
movie.
Wait.
No, so
I'm
it
on
was
the
like
edge of my
literally the
seat.
second or third time we were probably meeting each other.
This is
And
early on.
This was early
Oh
too.
no.
They were
Right.
testing you.
It was a big
Oh
test.
my
Did you get it?
So-
I bet you got the permission of the other twin. She was like, if he fucks us up, that's it.
He's over.
Yeah.
Third
outta
time.
here.
Third time you've
Well,
seen
that would
this
make
girl.
sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm selling my residence hall, and I was like, oh, I should be able to say. So they come up. It's like second or third time, and they
That's fucked
pull the
up.
old. They both come up, okay.
Yeah.
But Allison, who I was dating, and we're not gonna use last names because that's
Against the
ground
rules.
rules of the podcast, correct?
You right.
Space respect, yeah.
Goes around the corner, and her sister knocks on the door.
Oh my goodness.
Same knock, everything. I opened the door,
No.
and I was like, "Oh hey,
You're so
no, you're not a house."
so
And she
intelligent.
just goes, "Damn it!" And
Oh,
then
you
from
you
then,
called it?
oh dude,
Yeah.
initially,
That's dope. Good for you.
initially,
You
I
won.
was on my
Things.
toes. I was thinking
I'm-
on the toes like Kyle would
In my
ask.
jobs
Yeah.
previously, people have said I need to pay more attention to detail. So I think I would really fuck that up. I can't remember people's names. I can't.
I definitely think
Yeah,
that would
but,
fuck
like-
it up.
Dude, he would.
Yeah,
I
but if
can't
she's
remember
got an
the
the names
identical
of
people
people
have
that
a
are.
twin.
I've
Remember
seen
the
some
girl you're trying
really
to date's
identical
name?
twins.
If you're
And
trying
like, if
to
they're
date this girl,
trying,
you're
if they're
trying to
coming
remember
after you,
her
they got a
name.
mission.
You can't do that. It's too much. That's too much for
Oh.
Kyle.
Yeah, that would go
Hey,
way
yeah,
over your
you're
head.
fucked. I'm fucked. Yeah, but good job.
They're coming after
They're
you.
coming at you hard. You gotta be ready.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm gonna
That'd be
be honest. Just a little personal note. I
Yeah.
don't trust twins that look like extremely identical.
Why? What's your
The
what's
ones
your
that like
motive?
they want to like they try to make themselves like they dress the same.
Flip of the
that,
coin?
like,
Yeah.
Freaks me
be
the fuck out.
identical
Yeah.
because I
Shining
feel
shit.
like one of them is some like evil genius twin. And they're yeah, exactly. And they're like, I just need an
Blindly
alibi.
following.
Like we dress the same, so they can be like, oh yeah, I saw that girl. Like she can go out committing crimes. Like it's too devious.
No, this is my thing about it. If you have like an identical twin, why don't you divide and conquer? So let's say you have like you go through high school, everything like that, and then you go into college. Pick the same major, same school, go there.
Yeah.
Dress identical. Why not just divide and conquer on those finals?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And
The
then
same
that way,
person?
like,
Register as the same person. Basically.
pretty sure it's the same person.
Yeah.
Almost the same test.
I want to dive into the personal questions we have for Kyle.
Oh.
Oh.
fuck.
Julian, set up
Alright,
the
I'm
scene
gonna
about
set up the
Kyle's
Can't be
personal
worse than
questions.
twins,
Kyle
man. That's
is-
crazy.
Kyle, when I met Kyle, and the Kyle that I thought I knew is like just big bachelor.
Kyle I fell in
just
love
like
with.
big
What?
bachelor. He's just like
Yes.
not a care in the world. You're like your father. Like you like an
You're like a
entrepreneur.
40-year-old
innovative.
bachelor.
Throw my dad in this?
Yeah, you and your daughter are the same person.
Oh my
This
god.
is not a bad thing. I
No, it's
respect
a,
both
in a
you
cool
and your
way.
father.
Yeah, your
It's in a
dad
cool
seems
way.
really cool.
But you just like both like you're not worried about settling down and like just major bachelors in like the best with the best connotation possible.
Successful,
But
driven.
so like a few weeks into our friendship,
Plants.
you like informed me that you had like a serious girlfriend and you lived with her for like a year, and I found that quite shocking because it just didn't seem like something that you would do in your life. So let's get into that. You want to
Yeah.
tell a little story?
Do I need to explain why I lived with this?
You can
girl?
If you want
explain
to,
and
yeah.
just and then talk about like the.
Oh.
pros
I think
and
an
cons.
explanation should
you
be good
were-
for me. at least.
Because Kyle, no,
Yeah.
let's keep in mind, Kyle was 19 when he moved in with his girlfriend. Lived her for
So
a
talk
year.
about how
It's
that
like
happened
waste
and the pros and
everything
cons.
against
Wow.
what I stand for
Yeah.
now.
Go.
She was the second oldest, one of 8. So she had a big family.
That's a flock.
And it is a flock.
Squad.
And they were heavily religious.
Mm.
So
Kyle, how'd you? Why?
That's gonna
Kyle,
play into something later.
How
that I
did you
have to
get in
ask
this, Kyle?
guys.
You are the most unreligious person. One of them, I know. I
Will,
respect you for it. But how did you get yourself into this little
Well,
mess?
there's a thing, right? I have this astounding respect for parents because I know that job is damn hard. So every time I meet with a girl's parents, I immediately become into this crazy individual who just has mad respect for the people I'm talking to. That's why.
Okay.
Little
Okay.
plug here, weird flex, but okay. I
Weird
see it
flex.
coming.
Kyle
In
respects
high
elders.
school, my senior superlative was best to bring home to mom and dad.
I could totally see that.
Absolutely.
I could totally see
You
that.
look at
I
me, smile.
believable.
oh
Look at that
man,
glitter in his
oh
eye.
man,
So excited.
Oh, man.
Grin.
The other
Childish
there
grin.
was 2 others that didn't make sense or it wasn't working out, but that one I thought that one fit. Like damn right, best bring home to mom and dad. So that's how I can handle these kind of relationships. Because if I like the girl, dude, I'll do anything. Parents, it's just, I'll hang out with them. I'll meet them.
Okay.
It's
So
really
you
fun,
just
yeah.
you two were
It was
like, "All right,
amazing.
let's
It was
move- let's
amazing.
move
Yeah,
in."
yeah. I loved her family. I loved her
Okay.
family. It was great. It was fun. It was fun going over
Does
there.
family
Loving-
play like a big part for you?
It does. I think it's really fun, really interesting when a girl has a background of family life that's just different, very, very different. I think it's interesting.
How would you find like
Yeah, because you're
define
marrying
different?
in. Well, like you would like. Well, not marrying in, but like you're.
Join into that family for
yeah,
a
you
certain
like-
amount of time.
Exactly. Like you're kind of having bigger connections with that family as a whole. You're gonna have interactions with
Yeah.
them. So I feel like if you have a really bland family,
That's not
it's
that
like,
fun, yeah.
okay. But it's like if it's really eccentric and you're like, wow, you can talk to someone and be like, yeah, I was just traveling the world for like 6 months.
Do you just
It's
mean
like that's interesting.
family
Yeah.
characters?
Yeah,
is that what I mean? Like family
Wacky
characters, not like a
characters.
family
I need a
dynamic, because
goofy
like a lot of
uncle.
people. can be
Well,
I need a
family
sitcom.
no. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Like a lot of-
Family dynamic obviously plays into it. I think it's not very fun when you date a girl and it's super toxic and you're not supposed to hang out with her and they don't like you or just the family dynamic is off. No, I don't.
What
I
kind
don't
of girls are
appreciate-
you dating?
I usually don't date girls like that.
Oh,
I
okay.
usually yeah. The majority of the girls I date have really interesting family
Mhm.
lives, completely different from mine. So I love that. But anyway, we're talking about a girl that I dated recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I lived with her. The whole story of that relationship is fascinating, but I'm not going to dive into everything. Simple thing is, we were friends for 3 years, all throughout high school. She helped me through a lot of girls that I dated in high school, and she was super cool. I was invested. I was friends with her boyfriend. It was fun. We all hung out. Never thought I was going to date her. And then we started dating right after high school. Right after high
After?
school, though. Right after high school.
Okay.
During that summer. Right after that, though, I moved to California, and I had no intention of coming back to Cincinnati. So
Wow.
the first 6 months of our relationship were long distance. And then after that, I decided to come back to Cincinnati, came back. She lived in a residence hall, and I was living with family. Hung out with her then. And then after her lease ended in the residence hall, and I lived with my family for 6 months, I realized I didn't want to do that. Her plans fell through, my plans fell through, and we were like, fuck it. Let's just live with each other. If we stay together and we're serious about this relationship, we'll eventually do it. Why not do a little start? It wasn't meant to be permanent. It's temporary.
Did
It was
you
with another
guys-
couple.
Did you guys survive through the actual
The lease.
rent?
No.
Okay.
How? Yeah,
Yeah.
I was about
Rough.
to dive into that.
Actually, I completely understand that because dating someone versus living with them, so different.
Especially in college. Let's bring this
Absolutely.
back in.
Yeah.
Especially in college. It's so different because not only that, it's the first time you're living by yourself. So when you're living with a girl, within the first couple years of you living by yourself, you don't even know what it's like to have your own room, your own
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're like testing the waters, trying to figure out what your own habits are, how you operate in this brand new space, and then you got someone there that you're dating right in it. Oh man, it's totally different.
Yeah.
That's a good
How
point,
did it
Kyle.
like, as far as you guys ending in the same living space?
Oh yeah. Well, we'll get into
tell
that.
your
Yeah. So
story.
there was a lot of cool things about it. It was fun. Yeah. No, there was a lot of weird tests. There was a lot of weird tests that we had
Like
because we
what?
lived together. I would say there's the parent test, and then there was like a personal ownership test and like
For sure.
of like sharing shit. The
Oh.
parent test was fucked. The parent test was the demise of my senior superlative. When you go to a devout Christian family, Catholic actually, when you go to a devout Catholic family and
Yeah.
you say, "I'm moving in with your second oldest daughter,"
Ooh.
and
That's rough.
Yeah.
we're not married,
That went over very well.
they yelled at me. Definitely never saw her family again.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I did not know that.
No.
Dang,
Ooh.
Kyle.
That's crazy. Nonetheless, we just became different people. It was what we talked about one day, Andrew. It was about the onion and the apple
Yeah.
scenario. Yeah, she
You want to
was.
explain it?
It's a concept that I've kind of come up with myself. I thought about it for a while after dating some women in my past, and basically everyone is an onion or an apple. And I like to describe myself as an apple, very much so that I have a very thin layer of skin where That's what I preserve. That's what I show off to people. And then once you dig just a little bit into that layer of skin, that first impression, you pretty much know who I am.
Yeah.
I'm pretty standard
Yeah.
with my intentions. I'm pretty standard with giving out who I am right off the bat, right?
Mhm.
I'll have a 10-minute conversation. You'll see the surface.
Yeah. No, that's
Go
so
over
true.
that 30 minutes, you know who I am. However, the majority of people that I've ever dated, the majority of women that I've ever dated are all onions.
Yeah.
It's just layer after layer
very
after
true.
layer of something new every single time. And maybe it's just me not knowing it. I think the majority of women that I've dated are all onions. And they all change the more and more you get to know them. Whether it's
Onions have
their
layers.
Wait,
Yeah,
talk
onions
about
are
the,
layers.
No, talk about the thing with the seeds, like your roots.
Oh, whoa. This
fuck,
is
we're
next
diving
level.
in deep. This is a side tangent that we had during
Yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
conversation.
But it was good. No, it fit with it.
Yeah. I mean, why don't you talk about it?
Because I don't remember. I know some of it. I just don't. Like, I remember we talked about it. I can't articulate it.
Yeah. I don't remember it either.
All right. Well, you better believe it was pretty deep.
Yeah.
I think it was something where it was like in the apple, like to the core of you, you have your roots that like don't change.
Yeah.
Where
Oh,
it's
yeah,
like-
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Deep.
You, Andrew actually said something pretty cool. He was talking about living with his girlfriend over the summer.
Yeah. Well, me? Andrew.
Andrew was.
Yeah.
Over the summer, he lived with his girlfriend just for 2 days out of the week. Every other Monday through Friday, he was just working out of state or something, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And he was saying how living with her, even for those 2 days out of the week, he found out like different things about her.
Yeah.
Go
So
Yeah.
I was kind of saying like there's some things you would never know about a person until you actually live with them. And I think some of that is like, especially in the beginning of the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to have people who are like, I'm not ready to reveal this about myself. So they'll just like not say anything. But when you're around them long enough, you like pick that up.
Yeah.
But no, with this girl, I would go, this is like my girlfriend.
Mhm.
And it's like whenever I go over to her place, like it was pretty clean. But she'd always be like, don't go in that closet. I'd be like, okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Like, yeah,
Whoa.
if you tell me not to like do something, there's probably a reason. And like, sure, no problem. I'm not really that curious. So, but it was like always like pretty clean or whatever. She'd be like, don't look under my bed. Cause I like drop something. She's like, oh, don't look under there. I was like, okay, that's fine. Like you're not comfortable. Something's under the bed. I don't know what it is,
Okay.
but
None
yeah,
of my business.
right, exactly.
Monster.
So, but then I found out like after living with her, I was like, man, this room is always like kind of messy. Like for someone who's always been super clean, there's a ton of clothes everywhere and there's like trash. You know what I mean? Like dishes stacking up. And then I found out like whenever I would go over, she would just like push everything in the closet.
Whoa.
Like totally disorganized.
Whoa.
Just kind of like a little chaotic, and she would just like
Love
shove
it.
everything like 7 feet of laundry
Oh
into
my
this
God.
closet and just like shut it and be like, okay, like you know in the cartoons or whatever where like you open the closet and it would fall on you.
Yeah.
It was that
It
amount
was
of clothes. That
literally
was
that.
real.
That's so
Whoa.
Ridiculous amount.
funny. Dang.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have any crazy shit like that. When I dated the girl that I lived with, it was really fun because she was like really mature. So she would like clean a lot, and she would like make my lunches sometimes.
What?
That was so
Aw.
nice,
Kyle
was
going off to
so nice.
school.
Paper bag.
and they were always so
It's
good.
those like strong Christian
Nice
morals,
roll.
man.
Yeah, it's a strong.
Dude, I was
Wake
about
up
to
early,
ask-
do your chores.
Wow.
Like,
Oh, shit. Dude, and she always worked at the best restaurants. So she would come home from her shifts at the restaurants. Oh, dude, it was so good. You know how much I love food.
As far as where you guys go in relationships, I think family and friends are a big part.
Oh, yeah.
If
Hell
you
yeah.
respect their family,
Yeah.
if you don't respect their family, if their family respects you is a huge thing. If their family doesn't respect you, that's a huge thing. But also friends as well. So
Friends-
I feel
Yeah.
like that should be
Friends
like
is
that's
big.
I feel like we should tackle that with friends first, then fam.
Kyle, you always fall
Kyle,
into
everyone's-
mutual friends. Everyone's a mutual
everyone-
friend.
Everyone's a
know.
homie.
Yeah,
Everyone
everyone's
is
a
a
homie.
Everyone's a
Everyone's
fucking
a
homie.
homie.
Out here
man.
at
Nobody's
Homie
a
Academy.
chief.
Out here at Homie Academy, everyone's a homie.
You're like a little matchmaker then.
No, I'm not really a matchmaker. I've done
He's a
it.
homie maker, though.
I'm a
He's
homie
also
maker.
a homie
I like
maker.
that.
So many
I like
fucking
that.
homies 'cause of
So
Kyle.
many
All the
homies.
homies.
I have like 7 new homies
All
just
the
because we're
Chiefs.
friends. At least 2 new chiefs.
at least 2
Seven.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
At least.
And like the
I'm
thing
gonna
with
kill
me
myself.
is that I don't really stick around a lot of people that I don't think are good at meeting new people. If that
Oh,
makes
dude.
sense.
2019. That's all Kyle's been talking about.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No more toxic people.
Yeah,
in
no
his
more
life.
toxic
leave 'em
people.
behind.
Fuck the
leave 'em
toxic
behind in
people.
2018.
If they don't have
Yeah.
any goals, aspirations,
Ambition.
ambition, anything in their
Dude.
life,
Leave 'em.
bro, why am I even wasting my time with you?
Yeah.
Kyle just cuts. 'em
I just
out.
I love motivating people. I love being there for people. I love it.
Aw.
Shit, that's my job. But like personally, I heard someone say it. Who said it to me recently? I think it was one of our coworkers. He said, "You are the accumulation of the 6 closest people around you."
Yeah, I've heard that.
And I was like,
Oh.
"Whoa."
You're the average of,
Dang.
the,
I was
of
like,
your
sh-
6 closest friends.
Yeah, I was.
That's a
Yeah.
big thing.
How
yeah.
many?
I
It's
said
six.
it's
Six.
you're
Or
the
it's
average
5
of
or
your 6
6.
closest friends.
Yeah, I was like, "Shite."
Yeah.
Isn't that big?
Jesus Christ. Yeah. So yeah, that's insane.
That's some weight.
That's insane. So I really evaluated that, and then it's 2019, it's new year. I just, only make time for the people that are benefiting themselves, their area, and you.
I love how this is ending up,
Yeah.
going almost kind of full circle. If you
Kind
ask
of
me,
circle. Dare
talking
I
about
say.
friends,
Oh
people in your life,
Aw.
right back out. Same thing with relationships, man.
Yeah. I
Well,
like that.
we're gonna drop it off where we picked it up. It's been,
I think so.
Cool.
Hey, thanks for having us on, guys.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
like a
oh
really
my
big
gosh.
pleasure.
Thanks
for
Very
coming.
big pleasure.
Awesome.
It's a great first episode, I think. Homie Academy.
Homie Academy.
Follow us on our Instagram. Follow us on Twitter.
Yeah.
We make a little highlight reels.
Yeah.
I like that.
So we're
Let's
making
do it.
Twitters and Instagrams
Yeah,
now?
we gotta do that when we get back.
Bro, we need a Patreon. Subscribe to our Patreon. It's gonna come out soon.
We'll
What's up?
figure it out. What platforms are we exporting on?
Ooh, I have no idea.
We'll figure that out.
All right, so
Platform
Minor.
choice TBD.
DVD cassette,
Tape.
hard cassette tape.
Please
All
listen to
right.
a tape on our Walkman.
We out.
We out.
Peace, Chief.
We just did a pod.